First memory of me on a bike would be with my father in the Phoenix Park. I was very small, maybe, I think I was about 5. And I remember it was an autumn day because there was lots of brown leaves on the floor. So that was my first memory of cycling. I grew up in Ireland. I grew up in the capital, a city called Dublin. When I was 7, I moved to the countryside, so on the opposite side of the country, in a place called County Mayo. So I would consider myself a country woman.
So in cycling in general, it will never get easier, you just go faster. So every time you train, every time you want to achieve something, you have to go faster. So every time you'll be under pressure, every time you'll be under pain, every time you need to wake up in the morning or take your bike in the car and start riding. And I think the hardest part is for everyone. You just jump on your bike and the first few kilometers. Then when you start rolling, you're fine.
I know exactly when the idea came into my head. So I was driving from Abbadi to Dubai, and at that moment, at that time in my life, I was doing a lot of riding. So the schedule was very routine-like, it was very monotonous, I would say. So I tend to get bored very easily. So I thought to myself, why don't I cycle from Abbadi to Dubai? I was thinking, yeah, that'd be a really good idea, because I don't think any female has ridden on a bike on the highway from Abbadi to Dubai. So I thought, yeah, that's a really, really good idea. So I came into work and I saw Raslan at the desk and I said, Raslan, come here, I have an idea. And I told him the idea and he said, no, I think you can do something better than that.
I remember it was Monday morning when she came and she said, I want to do a new challenge. And she always planning a new challenge every year, like a big challenge, and to have something being covered and something like to set a goal to work for it. So she said, oh, I would like to do a ride from Abu Dhabi to Dubai by my own. Then I told her, okay, when I do a challenge, let's do a proper challenge. So let's take it something bigger. So we plan the 7 Emirates ride.
When I told my parents about the challenge, the 7 Emirates, they weren't at all surprised. In fact, their reaction was quite normal. I've always kind of done things out of the norm, and for them to hear that, they were happy for me, and they knew that I could do it. They didn't doubt me at any stage. They didn't really say, no, you can't do that, you won't be able to do that. They were supportive, and my dad was really behind the idea. My dad he used to do professional marathon running, so he was very excited about it. But they didn't doubt me at all. They didn't worry about my safety or how I would do it. They just accepted it in a very normal way.
The preparation was quite short, so this is not long, so we didn't have a lot of time to plan. I remember it was, I think, mid of March. So basically, to choose the map, it was as well a lot of work. So basically, we went to the Google map first to check and to have an idea as well where the 7 Emirates, how they're located, which road to use, how many mountains we climb, how many downhills we have, what the elevation profile, which safe roads to ride as well, which is not safe, which road we are allowed to ride as well or not. Are we allowed to ride on the highway or not? Are we allowed to be in Sheikh Zayed Road or not? These were questions we had to answer.
Okay, so cycling at this grand scale, like the amount of time that we will need to spend on the bike for the distance that we cover means that we have to prepare specifically, okay? So it's no use going on short rides. We need to get kilometers in the legs, as they say. So endurance rides, time in the saddle. So we used to do like 100 plus Ks on our rides. 150, I think one time we had to do a 170 kilometer ride in one sitting. The next thing was making sure that everyone was committed to the challenge. So we had a couple of people that said they were going to do it, but then kind of dropped out. So that means that we have less manpower. So in the end, we had 5 people.
Ako si Edmar Magbitang, Pilipino. Nagtatrabaho ako ngayon sa B-Sports Bike Shop, Dubai. Ang una kong karera, nung high school ako, sa amin sa Pilipinas. Tapos nag-stop ako dahil nag-aaral ako ng high school. Nung high school ako, naoperahan ng appendix ang tatay ko. Kahit mahirap man tanggapin na mag-isang kumakahid yung nanay ko, tinutulungan ko siya sa pagtitinda. Sa hirap man ng buhay, naisipan kong mag-abroad, kaya tinetext ko yung kaibigan ko, si Albert Primero, na tulungan niya akong magpunta dito sa UAE. Tapos na-hired ako 2007. Tapos nag-resign ako 2014. Na-hired ako dito sa B-Sports bilang mekaniko. Tapos December, hindi ko akalain na manganganak ng biglaan yung misis ko. Buti na lang marami akong kaibigan tulad ni Alvin at saka ni Jeman, ni Noel, at mga iba kong kaibigan na nagtulong-tulong sila, si JR, tulong-tulong sila na pahiramin ako ng pera para maibigay sa hospital kasi premature yung anak ko. Salamat po sa kanilang lahat dahil tinulungan ako.
For the media coverage before the event, we approached few TVs, few magazines, few newspapers. In the beginning, no one believed that we can do it. No one wanted to support it because they said it's too long. They said it's possible to do it 24 hours. It's never been done before on that speed, on this kind of idea. It's done before. Few people done it for charity for over few days, but no one managed to do this distance in that time. So everyone was like, okay, you sure you can do it or not? Then everyone kind of stayed away from it. The only person who supported from the media was Andy from Cyclists Middle East.
He's a cyclist himself, very, very cool guy, and he was on the idea. He had belief that we could actually do it. So I was like, thank God. So Andy Sherwood covered covered the event, so he wrote about it and published it before we actually did the event. So it put the pressure on us to actually do what we said we would do.
Edmar, everyone will be tired or being exhausted. Don't overlap any wheels. Stay away at least 20 centimeters.
Everybody ready?
On the day of the event, so we started at 5:30, I think, and everything was going smooth. Tailwind was with us for about 250 kilometers, and that's when the wind started to change and the sun started to come out.
All that I could feel was pain, a stranger's came and took my soul.
Heat was a massive challenge, keeping the body temperature at a reasonable level. Wind, a lot of headwind. Here in the desert, during the daytime hours, the wind is usually up. So you can imagine how it was in the middle of the desert with a side wind with a lot of sand blowing in your face and it being about 40 plus degrees. And you're already tired. That was a huge challenge. And trying to keep your energy, because you know you have 300k plus to go. So trying to keep a steady pace, not dropping the speed too much, but not over pushing yourself. That was quite hard to gauge.
It has been done. My spirit is broken. You gave me no reason. You left me with questions. Where do you go when you're by yourself? Who comes along?
Planning the nutrition, it was as well quite challenging. What we can eat, what we cannot eat, how many times we need to stop. We need to stop once, twice, 3 times, or each 100k, or have one big meal in the middle, or what we can do.
It was like eat anything you can fit into your mouth. Just like getting calories in, getting fuel. So we would stop every 50 kilometers, and I remember I used to like Capri Sun, Bounty bars, yogurts. I wasn't a fan of the sandwiches. I felt kind of sick eating them, but I know a couple of the guys, their favorite, like they had sandwiches, Subways. We used to have tea, hot tea with sugar, to keep the blood sugars up. So I have one really vivid memory of where I felt that my whole life was like going upside down on that challenge. It was when we were coming to the end. We had arrived in Dubai, and we were on the route that we had planned. So I remember we were cycling up, coming towards the end, and all I remember was a wall on my face. Literally, there was a bridge that was upright in our faces. Okay, so there's no way we can go past this. At this stage, we were exhausted. We had had enough. We were hungry. We were tired. Khalas, we just wanted, to get to Nas and, finish. So basically, the bridge had been lifted, I think, on Dira side. And we had to kind of think of a way around. So we had to backtrack on ourselves. And it doesn't sound like a lot, but I think we had to do like an extra 10K. But at that point in time, an extra 10K it felt like 1,000K. So I remember that being kind of very demoralizing. And but look, you get over the bridge, as they say, no pun intended.
I'm hoping for a better life, praying that nobody's story is all I know.
The support people during the ride as well, it was very important. Without these people, I don't think that we could manage it. The guys was in the car. Usman was with us as a photographer as well as a supporter. He was make sure that we had enough water, enough food. Abdurrahman as well, he was driving the support car. These people, without them, I don't think the event can happen.
But as the river keeps flowing, I'll keep on moving on. Where do you go when you're by
The other part was hard between Dibba to Ras Al Khaimah, to climbing the mountain with the headwind. It was a very slow, painful ride till we reached the top of the mountain. Then the truck road near Ras Al Khaimah, it was hard as well because it was big traffic jam that night. We arrived there around 11 o'clock. We lost the support vehicle because stuck in the traffic, so we had to ride without the car, without lights. We were very close to the trucks, less than a meter between us, until we reached Ras Al Khaimah highway.
The great part about all of it was riding on Sheikh Zayed Road in the evening, as I believe I don't think people will ride there as such a busy highway.
Bago ko tanggapin yung inalok ni Raslan sa ni Roisin sa 7 Emirates in 24, nagtanong muna ako sa mga kaibigan ko kung anong maganda ba na sumali ako doon. Pero marami silang sinasabi na hindi daw kasi sobrang layo o mapapagod ka lang, wala ka nang mapapala. Sabi ko sa sarili ko, susubukan ko kasi first time kong makalibot ng bisikleta sa buong UAE na mag-isang Pilipino.
After the challenge, I received a lot of feedback, all positive feedback. People congratulating me, people wanting to do the same thing that we did. Back home, they were very, very proud of me. So the Irish newspapers put me in their spreads. My club back home, they were really, really happy about what I did. My parents were delighted. My dad came over. My dad was my #1 fan here.
Like a deadly hurricane, I know my life will never be the same.
So I've always been a goal setter for all of my life. Right now I have a big goal, and it's to do with cycling. I would love to create a high standard of women's cycling here, create a team. And not just any team, but a team that knows how to race, knows how to compete, knows how to work as a team. They will understand how training works, how teamwork works, how racing works. Anything to do with cycling, they will understand.
My spirit is broken. You gave me no
My message to someone that has a goal, not just in cycling, it can be anything in life, would be to stay very, very focused. Put your head down, stick to the plan. Don't get torn between things. Don't let outside opinions cloud your mind, cloud your judgment. If you have a goal, and like I said, be it in anything, write it down, plan the steps, get the people that know what they're doing to support you. Keep them people and keep working until you get there. During that time, you'll have a lot of sidetrack, but always try and revert back to what your initial plan is and what your initial goal is. You have to have a passion first. You have to have a drive. You always have to have the fire lit. Ignore the naysayers, people that doubt you, people that don't want to see you succeed. Because at the end of the day, you're the one that's going to drive it home, not them. You're the one that's going to achieve what you set out to do, not them. And believe that you can only go higher and higher and higher and higher until you reach the stars and the moon. If you come back down, the only way back is up again. That would be my message.